Hello all, welcome to Off the Wall Movie Reviews. I'm Aubrey, and today we'll be discussing the film I Think We're Alone Now, directed by Reed Morano. This tale takes place after an apocalypse, and we follow a man who is all alone in a small town. His solitude is then interrupted by a young lady who wanders in and wants to stay, impeding on what he has established as his own personal paradise. In the beginning, we see our character Dell, played by Peter Dinklage, traversing through a deserted town scavenging for supplies. We're shown through his actions that he has a bit of a moral compass, disposing of things that are decayed and sterilizing the surrounding area. Then the character Grace, played by Elle Fanning, stumbles onto the scene. Dell is very cautious about her arrival, but Grace seems to treat the matter in a more carefree kind of way. He tends to her wounds, supplies her with a couple things that she could use on her travels, and tries to send her on her way, but instead she decides to linger around. Dell starts out resistant to Grace's company, but slowly comes around. With her occupying space in the town, Dell then teaches her some of his customs. He lays out his procedures to tackling daily activities, such as cleaning out surveyed homes in the vicinity and gathering useful materials. Grace then opens up to Dell, sharing with him some of the ways that she deals with the catastrophes of what their world has become. She's very expressive through the music she listens to. She gives condolences to the abundance of deceased. Grace's interactions with Dell start to humanize him more and more. As they get closer to one another, their seams start to fray. They're learning things about each other that aren't so flattering, but as with every relationship, there are good times and bad. Through the clutter, the audience then sees these characters unite, establishing sort of a system where they're working together. The score in this film really stirs up the emotion that's trying to be delivered in a scene. I appreciate the masterful skill behind the orchestra and the sound that it provides to intensify the story. The cinematography seemed docile, well-paced, and crafted. Casting was a great choice when it comes to my taste. Peter Dinklage in a starring role was a delight to see, and his performance was enthralling. Elle Fanning is an actress I've been a fan of since her earlier roles, such as Super 8 and 20th Century Woman, and she was so compelling in this film. The message I pulled from this movie was the dangers of simply conforming, to comply with certain standards that could potentially be detrimental to one's identity. This was a spellbinding movie. It definitely fascinated me and made me invested in the characters of the story. I cared about what happened to them and wanted to see them prevail. It took little twists and turns, unveiling different aspects of this world. I can see how one would say there isn't much happening on the screen, but I implore you to stick it through to the end. It's a charming tale. Rating this movie on a 5-star rating scale, I give it 4 stars. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and if you enjoyed the content, click that like button and subscribe. You have a good one.